work and what you should do. But first, let me tell you about a very important event that's happening at the end of the month on Friday, October 28th. We are co-sponsoring a blood drive with the Heart of Brevard. It's going to be at Brevard Fire Department, and you can sign up now. Go to the link in our social media, go to American Red Cross, find the blood drive event, and I believe you can also find it through the Heart of Brevard website as well. So please get on board with this community event. As you may or may not know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the American Red Cross has been talking about being in need of blood for people that are going through treatments that need transfusions and things like that. So please come on out, sign up. We can't wait to see you there. We'll be streaming live also there from that day. I think we're going to have some dancing guests on our live show that will be extremely informational and entertainment-wise. But I'm here with Kate Chom today. She is our Vice President of Customer Experience here at Brevard Insurance, and we're going to talk about claims and how that goes down for you, the customer, and what our role and your role is in completing those.
Yes, so claims are the reason insurance exists. We exist to indemnify, so if you have a claim, we're going to bring you right back to where you were. You can't profit off claims. If you have a builder's grade kitchen, we're not going to build you back to a commercial grade kitchen. You kind of get what you had before. But first thing you should know about claims is that if you are having an emergency, if your house is on fire, if you just got in a car wreck and someone is injured, we should not be your first call. Brad can maybe tell us a little more about that as a first responder.
Yeah, if you're experiencing an emergency, please call 911 or the power company, or call someone that's going to can mitigate that emergency as quickly as possible. Please don't call us, because if you do call us and say, I've been in a wreck, our first question is going to be, have you called 911? If people are hurt, call 911, get that stuff taken care of first, then we can get into the insurance side of that. Make sure the property authorities have been called, or the fire department if your house is on fire, things like that. I know it sounds like common sense, but people have called us first.
Yes.
And we have to tell them,
first.
Please hang up, call 911. We will help you as soon as it's the appropriate time.
Right. Yes. You will want to stop the fire damage to your house before you file a claim.
Right. All right, Kate. Well, let's talk about auto claims. If someone does get in an accident, kind of what are the steps after the authorities have been called? The police has come, done their report. No one's necessarily gone to the hospital, let's say in this situation, but what are the steps for the client?
So now the client wants to worry about documentation. So take some pictures, get the police report from the police officer. Sometimes they don't have it immediately, so you can at least grab that police report number. You'll want to trade information with the other driver, and do not admit any fault. So don't offer to pay for anything. The claims adjusters firstly, it's in your insurance contract that you can't admit fault. It's the claims adjuster's job to come out and determine the fault. So don't do their job for them. Anything to add to that, Brad?
No, I think you hit all that. Definitely taking the pictures, evidence of damage and things like that. If you taking pictures of both cars or everything that's been damaged is never a bad thing as well. So do that. So once that's been done, how does someone file a claim? What would they?
Okay, good question. That's really an important next step to take. So if it's during your insurance agency's office hours, for Brevard Insurance, it's 8:30 to noon and then 1 to 5. We are closed from 12 to 1 for lunch. Give us a call. We'll help you file it. If it's after hours or on a weekend, you'll want to call your carrier directly. You don't have to wait. You can if you want. If you'd rather just talk to us, and it happens on a Saturday, we can file it for you on a Monday. But if your house was burning down and you called 911, you can just call the carrier directly and get that filed to get the claims process moving. Your claims representative should be in touch with you within 48 hours to get the whole process started.
Right, and then once the claim is started and the process is started, what's the relationship between the client and the adjuster and the insurance agency?
Good question. So claims, the company does everything they can to kind of cut the agent out of the claims process. They want to work with the client directly. They don't want to work with us. That being said, you can call us and we can help you understand or walk through some things, but ultimately, to be a claims adjuster, there's a whole separate license that none of us have. They are the only person that can determine whether or not there's coverage. They can hopefully answer your questions better than we can. But if it's something simple, feel free to give us a call and we can do what we can to explain.
Right. Good. And if you're not happy with the adjuster's outcome, right, sometimes we can help you with that and ask why. Sometimes the adjuster won't always explain, well, this is why. They'll just say, no, we're not covering this, or this is, and so sometimes we can walk through and maybe explain the coverages. But usually it is 100% up to the adjuster and the company what their decision is on the coverage and what's being paid.
Right.
Great. So that's auto claims. So when we're taking a look at property claims, it's very similar, the process. And what are some of the differences when it comes to home damage and contents damage and things like that?
So it's pretty similar. After you call the proper authorities, the next step is the same. You're going to want to do documentation. So if you can take pictures of any damage, if your house burned down, we'll just stick with that. Take pictures of anything that burned up. Otherwise, and maybe anyways, the claims adjuster is going to ask you to write a list of everything that got destroyed so they can replace it for you. That being said, they're going to, like I said, ask for a list with prices of when you bought it and prices of what it would be now to replace. So anything you can do to make that easier on yourself would be great. Honestly, it's not a bad idea to take a video before you have a claim. So now would be a good time before your house burns, just so and keep that video somewhere safe. Like, hey, here's what my house looks like right now. Here's the furniture I have. Here's the jewelry or whatever that you keep that you would want replaced in the event of a claim.
Good. And also, if you do have a large loss, whether fire damage, water damage, or something like that, you want to get a restoration company out to your property pretty quickly. And if it happens on the weekend and we're not open, you can call a restoration company yourself. There's several, and so we won't go into who to call specifically, but getting a restoration company out there, most of them are accustomed to working with insurance companies, and so they know how that process works. But you want to get that water out. If it's a water damage, you want to start getting that the smoke stuff that's been smoke damage. They want to start cleaning that up and using those air purifiers and things like that.
Absolutely, and I'm going to build on that a little. So,
absolutely. Build on it.
When you're choosing a restoration company, it is never a bad idea to ask your insurance carrier who their preferred company is. They're that carrier's preferred company for a reason. They work well together. They have experience. They've got their systems lined up. So definitely that's a really good question to ask. And I will say, if you file the claim through us, we have an option to choose a restoration company that the insurance carrier recommends. So we can click that button, hit submit, and they're going to send that restoration company out. It automatically sends a note to that restoration company to get in touch with you. And sometimes that can speed that process up. I believe they can do that as well if you call the carrier and file directly, like on a weekend. Go ahead and do that. Ask them and get that company out there.
Absolutely. Great. Well, that kind of covers what to do in the event of a claim, but there's some things you can do to prevent claims from happening, especially in your home. Like Kate mentioned, taking videos and pictures of your contents in the house, your property. That lets the insurance company and the adjusters know what was there, like Kate said. And then there's some things you can do to mitigate or prevent things like water loss. If you leave your home for a week and you go on vacation, or 2 weeks, or a month, and you're sailing in the Pacific, or you're cross-countrying in a van, it's best to turn your water off while you're gone so you don't have an unexpected leak. There's extension cord safety. It's getting fall, it's getting cooler out, people are starting to run heaters. Using extension cords, keeping those, using the right gauge, unplugging them when you're not home, when you're not using the appliance or the heater or whatnot, making sure when they're plugged in that the cord's not smushed, like behind a couch or a cabinet or something like that. Being very careful with those type of things.
Have your chimney swept.
Have your chimney swept. That's good. We had some live show with some chimney folks last year. They're good, Smoke Rise Chimney, they're a good resource. Kitchen safety, having a fire extinguisher in your kitchen in case there's any type of kitchen or cooking fire. Turning your stove off when you're done cooking out of the kitchen, things like that. Making habits of checking can go a long way so that you don't have to report a claim in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, and after you have a claim, there are some follow-up steps that you'll want to think about. Unfortunately, in the insurance industry, claims doesn't often talk to underwriting. So that leaves the burden of getting your policy up to date kind of on the agent and the insured. So if you have a claim and you did a wiring upgrade, if your home was totally rebuilt, like we need to update your insurance policy. If a tree fell through your roof, we need your new roof receipt so we can get that updated. And we get in contact as well, like, hey, what happened during this claim? What needs to change? But make sure you keep any receipts that you've got, and if we get something wrong, correct us. Like, hey, this is what it should be.
Right. And then sometimes the biggest question people ask in claims is my premium going to go up? Is my insurance cost now going to go up?
Love that question. We get it every time.
Yeah.
So the answer is probably yes. We won't know until your next renewal processes. So it could be up to a year before you feel any rate increases. And oftentimes it's not so much that you're getting a rate increase, it's more that you're losing a claims-free discount. So, insurance, they do what they can to recoup some of the loss that they paid out so that they can pay out other people's claims.
Right. It's that shared risk.
It's the shared risk. Insurance is risk sharing.
Right. So, great. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Folks, we certainly hope you don't have a claim, but if you do, those are some good steps to follow. And we're here always to support you at Brevard Insurance with those things and to make it as smooth as possible. So thank you for joining us today, and please don't forget the blood drive. Sign up. Kate's already signed up.
You know it.
I'm unfortunately going to be out of town that day, so I'm going to have to hit another one around town before then. But we will see you next week right here at Brevard Insurance Live. Take care. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We'll see you next week.
Bye.